Assalamu alaikum dear students. Now I am going to discuss another topic in economics, that is price elasticity of supply. What does price elasticity of supply tells us? It measures the responsiveness of quantity supply due to change in price. As we know that supply is directly related with the price. Whenever the price of some product increases, its quantity supply also increases. But how might that we measure with the help of price elasticity of supply? Price elasticity of supply is said to be elastic when its value becomes greater than 1, or if we define it, we can say that if the quantity supply is more responsive to change in price, then it is said to be elastic, meaning that if price increases by 20%, quantity supply increases by 25%, more than 20%, then it is said to be elastic. On the other hand, price elasticity of supply is said to be inelastic when for a given change in price there will be a smaller change in the quantity supply. For example, if price of the product increases by 30% but quantity supply increases only by 10%, then it is said to be inelastic supply, meaning that supply is less responsive to change in price. Another case we have when price elasticity of supply is equal to 1. It means that price is quantity supply is unitary elastic. For a given change in price, there will be equal proportional changes in the quantity supply. For example, if price of the product increases by 10%, quantity supply will also increases by 10%, then it is said to be supply unitary elastic supply. Another we have when price elasticity of supply is equal to 0. That is the extreme case, meaning that supply is totally irresponsive to change in price, meaning that there will be no changes occurs in the quantity supply because of change in price. No matter whatever the price is, supply remains the same. Another extreme case that we have, that is the price elasticity of supply is equal to infinity. When price elasticity of supply is equal to infinity, mean that uh, smaller extreme changes in prices will bring immeasurable changes in the quantity supply, will bring huge changes in the quantity supply, meaning that quantity supply is much responsive to change in the price. So if we define it, if we write it mathematically, we can write it like that. In PES, price elasticity of supply is equal to percentage change in quantity supply due to change in percentage change in price. If we drag the formula, we get we know that how we can calculate the percentage change. It is calculated by difference between two numbers divided by original number into 100. If we can calculate it, we get the simplest form of the formula. If we further simplify it, it will be like that: PES is equal to change in quantities divided by change in price. As I have calculated it in price elasticity of demand, you can watch my video in playlist. uh, Now I'm going to discuss the diagrams of price elasticity of supply. When price elasticity of supply is inelastic, its curve will be more steeper, like that. You can say that a larger changes in the price will bring a very small change in the quantity supply. A large change, for example, if price reduces from P to P naught, but quantity supply, here you can see on vertical diagram, quantity supply increases from Q naught to Q. A very small change in the quantity supply occurs because of a larger change in price. On the other hand, when price elasticity of supply is elastic, you can say that very small change or small change in price will bring a larger change in the quantity supply, as we have discussed that if price increases by 10% or 20%, supply increases more than 20%, meaning that 30% or 40% by increase in the price. So that is said to be elastic supply. Here you can see that on flatter diagram, price decreases from P to P naught, but quantity supply increases from Q to Q1. You can give it Q1 then. So you can see here, by smaller change in price, there will be a larger change in the quantity supply, then it is said to be elastic. Here we have two extreme cases that are the perfectly elastic and perfectly inelastic. If supply is totally irresponsive to change in the price, then it is said to be perfectly inelastic. Its curve will be look like that. No matter whatever the price is, price may be P1, P2, P3. What here you can give them name. For example, P1, P2, P3, P4. But quantity supply remains unchanged. That is said to be perfectly inelastic supply. Another extreme case that we have is the price elasticity of supply is equal to infinity. What does it mean? Mean that extreme change in price, a very minor change in price will bring a very large changes in the quantity supply, immeasurable changes in the quantity supply. Then it is said to be perfectly elastic supply. Its curve will be look like that, horizontal. Yeah. Now we can discuss this by we can discuss one of the question of price elasticity of supply. That is, here we have price, original price is 2 and it changes from increases from 2 to 3 and original quantity was 100. It increases because of this increase in price, increases from 100 to 200. So we can calculate whether the price elasticity of supply is elastic or inelastic. As we have the formula, price elasticity of supply is equal to change in quantity divided by change in price multiplied by original price over original quantity. Here change in quantities is 100. From 100 to 200, change in quantities is equal to 100. And change in prices is 1. From 2 to 3, as we know that change in price is equal to 1. And original price was 2 and original quantity was 100. We multiply it next to 100 into 2 is equal to 200 and 1 into 100 is equal to 100. It becomes 200 divided by 100. When we divide them, we get a number that is equal to 2. It shows that price elasticity of supply is said to be elastic. That is elastic. Mean that supply is more responsive to change in price. Another question we have, question maybe comes in exam like that. For example, if price of mangoes increases from 100 to 120, its quantity supply increases from 2000 to 2200. Now we can calculate it with the help of formula that we have change in quantities divided by divided by change in price into original price over original quantity. As we know that change in price is 100 from 100 to 120 is equal to 20. Change in quantity is equal to from 2000 to 2200 is equal to 200 divided by change in price is 20. From 100 to 120 is equal to 20. Now we can multiply it by the original price and original quantity. Original price was 100 and original quantity was 2000. When we multiply them, 200 into 100 becomes 20,000 and 20 into 2000 becomes 40,000. When we divide them, we get a number that is equal to 0.5, which indicates that which is less than 1, which indicates that price elasticity of supply is less elastic or inelastic. So now we discuss what are the factors that determine whether the price elasticity of supply will be greater than 1 or less than 1, whether price elasticity of supply is for a product is elastic or inelastic. These are the factors that determine the price elasticity of supply. First of all, production lag. If it takes time to produce something, much time to produce something, then its price elasticity of supply will be lower. Mean that price elasticity of supply is less responsive to change in price, so that is inelastic supply. When production lag is low, mean that you can produce good in a very smaller time. Then by change in price, you are able to change the quantity supply of your product frequently, then it is said to be price elastic supply. Another factor that determines the price elasticity of supply is stocks. When producer have enough amount of stocks available with him, he is able to change the quantity supply by increase or decrease in the price. Then price elasticity of supply is said to be elastic. Otherwise, it is inelastic. Another factor that we have level of spare capacity. If producer have enough spare capacity in their business, by increasing price of their product, he can easily increase the production of its product. Then supply is said to be price elastic. Otherwise, if he have low level of spare capacity, then price elasticity of supply is said to be inelastic. Another factor that or determinant that determine whether the price elasticity of supply is elastic or inelastic, that is substitutability of factors of production. If factors of production, land, labor, capital are frequently you can easily change them from one profession to another profession, then price elasticity of supply will be higher. For example, if you are producing two goods like cars and furnitures at some period of time, demand for car increases and its price also increases, you can divert your factors of production from the production of furniture to production of cars, and you can increase the supply of your product in a very little time. Then price elasticity of supply is said to be elastic if substitutability of factors of production is less than price elasticity of supply is said to be inelastic. Another factor is the time. As we know that in economics we talk about the two types of time periods. One is the short period of time, in which how we can define short period of time in economics, as we know that it is a period of time when at least some factors of production are fixed while others are variable. You are easily to change the quantity of some factors of production, but you are not able to change your production technique, your production capacity. Then price elasticity of supply in a short run is said to be inelastic or less elastic. But in long run, because all factors of production are variable, you can easily change your production capacity, production technique because of change in price. Then price elasticity of supply is said to be elastic. So that is all about the price elasticity of supply. I hope you can understand all these things in a very well manner now. If you have any question, any query, you can ask me. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.